Your English podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Your English podcast, the perfect place to boost your English little by little with each conversation. My name is Alex.
And I'm Nina. Welcome back.
So today we're diving deep, aren't we?
We absolutely are. We're tackling something really, really fundamental for anyone serious about learning English.
Yeah.
Building a really effective daily learning routine.
The routine. The secret sauce.
Exactly. And we're not just going to, list steps. We want to explore why these habits work, why weaving them into your day makes such a difference.
And importantly, especially for maybe newer listeners, we'll keep the language pretty straightforward, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Simple and clear, that's the aim. So everyone can follow along easily.
Okay, so routines.
Yeah.
Think about anything you've gotten good at, maybe playing guitar, maybe baking. Chances are you didn't just do it once. There were these small, consistent actions day after day.
Right. That's the magic, isn't it? Routines kind of automate things. They turn these learning activities that feel like effort at first into something that feels almost second nature, like driving a car eventually.
Oh, that's a good one. At first, you're thinking about everything: clutch, mirrors, signal.
Exactly. But then it just flows. Have you felt that shift yourself in learning something new? That move from conscious effort to just doing it?
Definitely. And it's fascinating how our brains work that way.
It really is. It's adaptation. And for language, automating the basics frees up your brain power, doesn't it?
It does. So you can focus on, the meaning, the conversation itself.
Precisely. Now, to make this routine stick, having a few simple tools can be, surprisingly helpful.
Okay, tools. What are we talking about? Nothing too complicated, I hope.
Not at all. Super simple stuff. First, maybe a timer.
A timer, okay, to keep sessions focused.
Exactly. Helps you stick to the plan. Then maybe a planner. Could be an app, could be paper.
Right, to sort of map things out, see where it fits in your day.
And finally, just a way to, keep track. Pen and paper, a notes app.
For what? Recording progress.
Yeah, jotting down new words or just noting, yep, did my 15 minutes today. It helps you see the progress. What about you listening? What tools help you stay organized with your goals? Anything you rely on?
That's a great question. Think about that. Okay, so before we get into the actual plan, let's maybe touch on the philosophy behind it.
Good idea. Our approach is basically built on a two-step process. Input first, then. Reinforcement.
Input meaning taking stuff in.
Exactly. New knowledge. Listening to English, reading English, you got to feed your brain, right?
Feed the brain. I like that.
And then you need to do something with it. That's the reinforcement or output.
So using it somehow.
Yeah.
Speaking, writing.
Precisely. It's like you take in the ingredients, that's the input, and then you cook with them, that's the output. It makes the learning stick.
Okay, input and output makes sense. You listen, you read, then you try to use it.
And what's cool is how they feed each other. The more input you get, the more material you have to practice your output, your speaking, and writing. And doing that output actually makes you notice things more when you next get input.
Like a positive cycle.
Exactly. A positive feedback loop. It gets stronger over time.
Okay, so that's the background. What's the actual mission for today's deep dive, though?
Right. The mission. We're going to lay out a structured program, 3 levels over about 3 months.
3 months to build a solid routine. Okay.
And it's designed specifically to help you build that daily English learning habit, step by step.
Accessible steps, right? We're not asking people to suddenly study for hours.
Absolutely not. We start small, really manageable, and then gradually, as you build confidence, we increase things a bit.
Tell me a plan. Where do we start? Level 1.
Let's dive into level 1. The whole program, as we said, 3 levels. Think of them as building blocks.
Okay.
Level 1 is the foundation. It's all about getting started, building that initial discipline.
The first hurdle, maybe, just starting consistently.
Exactly. So we've designed level 1 for the first 15 days.
15 days? Okay, 2 weeks plus a day. Feels doable.
It is. The main goal here is simple. Make learning English a daily thing, like brushing your teeth. You
Yeah.
just do it.
Automatic.
We want it to become almost automatic, yeah, a natural part of your day.
And to make that easy, especially the start, the time commitment is small, right?
Very small. In level 1, each daily session is just 15 minutes long.
15 minutes. Okay, most people can find 15 minutes somewhere, surely.
We think so, and we even break that down further.
Oh,
Roughly 13 minutes is for input, taking in new English.
listening, reading.
Yep. And then a really crucial 2 minutes for output.
2 minutes. What can you do in 2 minutes?
It's quick, but vital. Just briefly summarize in your head or maybe say out loud what you just learned or heard.
Like locking it in.
Exactly.
Well,
It helps your brain process and store that new information. It's like a mini rehearsal in your head.
okay. 13 minutes input, 2 minutes output for 15 days straight.
That's the plan for level 1.
Now, that 13 minutes of input, how do people actually do that?
Yeah.
Especially if they're busy.
Great question. You've got to get creative and use the time you already have.
Like commute time.
Perfect example. If you take a bus or train, pop in some earphones, listen to a short podcast, like this one.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
But yeah, podcasts, audio lessons.
Or maybe you go for a walk every day.
Mm-hmm.
Use that time. Repeat new words or phrases out loud while you're walking. Nobody needs to know.
True. It's about finding those little pockets of time, isn't it?
Absolutely. Those small bits add up significantly over 15 days. So, for you listening, where are those moments in your day? Could you grab 10 minutes on your lunch break, 5 minutes before bed?
It makes you think. And the benefit of keeping it short, these 15-minute sessions.
Yeah. Especially when you're building the habit, short and regular is way better than long and occasional.
Why is that? Wouldn't longer sessions mean more learning?
Eventually, maybe. But at the start, consistency is king. It's much easier to stick to 15 minutes every single day than to find, say, an hour only once or twice a week.
Right. You risk breaking the chain if it feels too big.
Exactly. It's about building that daily muscle, showing up. That's the core of level 1. It aligns with that idea of micro habits start so small, it feels easy.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And how do you know if it's working? How do you track this?
Simple self-checking. Keep a small log.
Like a diary?
Could be. Or just a note in your phone. Write down, listen to podcast episode X. Or learn 5 new food words.
Just a quick note.
Yeah, something brief. It does 2 things. Shows you you're being consistent and gives you a little boost seeing what you've covered, even in small chunks.
A tangible record of your commitment. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
What about like setting yourself up for success, environment, time of day?
Crucial. Think about when you're most likely to actually do it. Are you a morning person?
Uh-oh. Not really.
Maybe lunchtime then. Or evening? Find your best time when you have the energy and focus.
And find a quiet spot.
Ideally, yeah. As distraction-free as possible. Doesn't have to be fancy. A corner of a room, your desk after work. Just a place where you could focus for those 15 minutes.
Okay, find the time, find the place, keep it short, track it. Sounds like a solid plan for level 1.
Yeah.
But what if life happens? What if you miss a day?
The missed day. This is important, especially for level 1.
Okay.
Because this phase is so focused on building that solid daily habit, our advice is quite specific.
Which is?
You miss a day, you go back to day 1 of level 1.
Whoa, really? Back to the start. That sounds harsh.
It might sound strict, yeah, but there's a reason. It's about reinforcing that daily commitment, strengthening the brain pathways for this new habit.
So it's not punishment, it's retraining.
Exactly. It emphasizes that this is a daily thing, non-negotiable in this first phase.
Wow.
What do you think? Listening, does that feel too much, or can you see the logic for really cementing the habit?
It's an interesting point. It really forces the issue of consistency.
That's the idea. Missing a day, especially early on, can really weaken that habit you're trying to form. So restarting reinforces its importance.
Okay. So basically, to pass level 1 and move on.
You need 100% completion. 15 consecutive days, no misses. That's the key to building that strong foundation for level 2 and 3.
Consistency. That word keeps coming up.
It's everything, really. It's the foundation. I like that quote you mentioned earlier, consistency compound.
Yeah, it really stuck with me. Small efforts, day after day, they add up. They build on each other.
It's so true for language, that daily repetition, that discipline. It's how things sink in. Vocabulary, grammar, even pronunciation, it becomes part of you.
Like those small deposits in a savings account.
Exactly. They seem small individually, but over time, wow.
So how can people, help themselves be consistent? Any extra tricks?
Definitely. Think about little support systems. Set a daily reminder on your phone.
Good one. Hard to ignore.
Or use a physical calendar. Put a big check mark on each day you complete. Visually satisfying.
Yeah, that is. Or sticky notes.
Motivational sticky notes. Put them on your mirror, your laptop. You got this. 15 minutes for your future, whatever works for you.
Little nudges.
Little nudges to keep you going, especially when motivation dips, because it will sometime.
Okay, so let's circle back to that missed day in level 1.
Yeah.
Say you're on day 9, feeling great. Then boom, unexpected meeting, kid gets sick, whatever.
Yeah.
Day 10 is missed.
It happened. Life happened.
The temptation is just to pick up on day 11, right?
Right.
Or maybe do 30 minutes the next day to catch up.
Totally understandable temptation. But for level 1,
Back to the start.
back to day 1,
Yeah.
gently guide yourself back. It's about respecting that habit building process, keeping that mental link strong.
Okay. What about rewards? Could that help with consistency, especially early on? Like finish your 15 days, get a treat.
Oh, absolutely. Rewards can be powerful motivators. Positive reinforcement.
What kind of rewards work? Doesn't have to be huge, right?
No, not at all. Simple things. Finish your session. Give yourself 10 extra minutes of scrolling guilt-free. Or finish a whole week successfully. Maybe that fancy coffee you like. Or watching an extra episode of your favorite show.
Little perks.
Yeah, or just taking a moment to acknowledge, hey, I did it. I stuck to my plan. That feeling of accomplishment is a reward in itself. It builds momentum.
So just to hammer it home, level 2 only happens after 15 successful consecutive days of level 1.
No skipping ahead. No almost made it. 100% completion of level 1 first. It ensures that foundational habit is really locked in before we add more time.
Okay. Now, you've mentioned before about fitting routines into busy lives. Can you share a bit more about strategies that worked for you when things get crazy?
Sure. For me, the biggest thing was scheduling it, like literally putting it in my calendar.
As an appointment.
Yes. Treating it like an important meeting I couldn't miss, even just for 15 minutes. If it's scheduled, it's much more likely to happen.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Takes the guesswork out.
And honestly, the feeling after I'd done it, especially on a busy day, that sense of, wow, I still made time for this, that became its own motivation. It felt good. What about you? Any go-to tricks for hectic time?
For me, it's connecting back to the why. Why am I doing this?
The bigger picture.
Yeah. Reminding myself of the goal, speaking better English, getting that job, traveling, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That often gives me the push I need when I feel like skipping it.
That's powerful. Connecting to your core motivation.
And like you said, that feeling of achievement after sticking with it, even when it's tough,
Yeah.
that really fuels the fire for the next day.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's assume you've done it. You've nailed level 1. 15 straight days.
Yeah.
Habit established. What's next?
Level 2, time to step it up a bit.
Exactly. Level 2 builds directly on that foundation. This stage lasts for the next 30 days.
30 days now.
Oh, okay.
And the time commitment,
We double it.
Yeah.
Level 2 is 30 minutes per day.
30 minutes. Still feels manageable for most people, I think. Less than one TV show episode.
Right. And it gives us more scope to deepen the practice.
How does the structure change? Still input-output.
Still input output, but the balance shifts slightly.
Yeah.
Now it's roughly 25 minutes for input
Make it more immersion time.
and 5 minutes for output.
5 minutes for output, so
Yeah.
a bit more time to summarize or practice.
Exactly. Allows for a slightly more detailed recap maybe trying to use a new phrase you learned or explaining the main idea a bit more thoroughly than in level one's 2 minutes.
And the focus of that 25 minutes of input. What kind of materials should people look for?
Here, we start moving towards slightly more complex stuff. Still manageable, but a step up. Maybe podcasts on specific topics you're interested in. Not just general English, but maybe history or science or tech.
Things that genuinely interest you. Makes sense.
Or perhaps longer chunks of audiobooks, getting into a story a bit more.
Reading too.
Definitely. Short articles, maybe blog posts on subjects you like. Things that stress you a little bit but aren't overwhelming. What kind of topics grab your attention when you're learning something new? That's key for you listening. Find what you enjoy.
Good point. Enjoyment fuels consistency too.
It really does. Now, for activities in level 2, we want to encourage moving beyond just passive listening or reading.
More active engagement.
Yeah. So maybe after reading a short news article, you actively try to summarize the main points out loud or maybe jot them down.
Okay. Using the information.
Or if you happen to have a language partner.
Which is a great thing to find, by the way.
Absolutely. Level 2 is a good time to start briefly discussing what you're learning with them, even just for a few minutes.
What if you don't have a partner?
Talk to yourself. Seriously. Explain the concept out loud as if you were teaching someone. It sounds silly, but it's incredibly effective for recall and finding gaps in your understanding.
Okay, talking to the mirror it is. And tracking progress in level 2, still important.
Still crucial. You can get a bit more detailed now. In your diary or notes, maybe write down specific new words or grammar points you notice.
Things you actively worked on understanding.
Exactly. And maybe start trying some simple quizzes or exercises related to what you studied, just to check your understanding.
And the key mindset here is
Mistakes are good. They're not failures. They show you where you need to focus a bit more. They're learning opportunities. Embrace them.
Good advice. And moving to level 3. What's the requirement?
Same principle as before, 100% consistency. You need to complete your 30 minutes every single day for the full 30 days of level 2.
sticking with it is paramount.
It reinforces the habit as the material gets a bit more demanding.
Now, you mentioned earlier how following a structure
Yeah.
like this 255 split can really help. Can you elaborate on your own experience? Did that dedicated output time make a difference for you?
Oh, hugely. When I started consciously setting aside even just 5 minutes immediately after input,
Yeah.
I noticed I remembered things so much better later on. It wasn't just passively going in one ear and out the other.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Like after listening to part of an audiobook, I'd pause it and use those 5 minutes to try and retell the plot points out loud, just to myself without looking back.
Active recall.
Exactly.
Look right.
It instantly showed me what I'd grasped and what was still fuzzy. It made the learning much more active and sticky compared to just hitting next chapter.
That's a great practical tip. That immediate processing makes a big difference.
No.
Okay, so fast forward. You've crushed level 1. You've consistently completed level 2 for 30 days. Congratulations. What awaits?
Level 3. The final stage of this initial 3-month program. We call it intensive immersion.
Intensive immersion. Sounds serious.
It is a step up. This level also lasts for 30 days, like level 2.
Okay, but the time commitment increases again.
It does. In level 3, we're aiming for 60 minutes of dedicated English learning each day.
1 full hour. Okay, that's a significant commitment.
And it is. But by now, you've built a strong habit and hopefully seen real progress, which makes finding that hour feel more achievable and worthwhile.
And the breakdown. Still input-output.
Yes, but with more time for both. Roughly 45 minutes for focused input.
45 minutes. Okay, serious immersion time.
And a solid 15 minutes for active output and reinforcement.
15 minutes of output. That allows for much more practice, doesn't it? Summarizing, discussing, writing.
Exactly. It gives you a real chance to consolidate and actively use what you're learning.
And the overall goal of level 3.
It's about really pushing towards more advanced skills. aiming for a noticeably higher level of proficiency.
So, more fluency, better understanding of complex stuff.
That's the target. Feeling more confident expressing yourself, understanding more nuanced conversations or tech.
Okay. So, what kind of practical tasks fit into level 3? That 45 minutes of input needs filling.
Think more complex, more authentic material. Longer, maybe more challenging podcasts or lectures on topics that really interest you.
Getting into specialized areas, maybe?
Could be academic talks, maybe documentaries in English, things that require more sustained attention.
And the 15 minutes of output, how do you use that effectively?
Really engage with the material. Summarize complex arguments you just heard or read. Express your own opinion or analysis.
Critically engaging.
Yeah. Or have a more in-depth discussion with your language partner if you have one. Maybe try writing a short essay or a detailed summary based on the input.
Okay, that sounds like solid practice. But an hour, yeah, maintaining focus for that long can be tough. Any tips?
Absolutely. Concentration is key here. One simple thing is short break. Maybe use the Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off.
Breaking it down within the hour.
Yeah. Or even just a 1-minute mindful breathing break can help reset your focus.
Good idea. What else?
Mix up activities within the hour. Don't just listen passively for 45 minutes straight. Maybe listen for 25, then read something related for 20.
Keep the brain engaged by switching gears.
Exactly. Or listen, then immediately use the output time to discuss or write about that specific thing. Keeps it fresh. What about you listening? What helps you stay focused during longer study periods? Any tricks you use?
It's very personal, isn't it?
Very. Some people like background music, others need silence, experiment, and of course, minimize distractions. Phone away, notifications off. Crucial for that focused hour.
Makes sense. So after successfully navigating level 3 for 30 days, what should someone expect to feel or notice?
You should definitely feel a significant boost in confidence using English.
Less hesitation.
Hopefully, yeah. Responses might start feeling more automatic, less like translating in your head, and you should have a much deeper grasp of more complex language.
Sounds like a great outcome. And keeping track, self-reflection in level 3.
Still vital. Keep up that detailed learning diary. Note down challenges, breakthroughs, interesting phrases.
What about other methods?
Recording yourself speaking is powerful. Make short audio notes summarizing something or giving your opinion. Listen back, it can be revealing.
Cringy sometimes, but revealing.
Yeah. And if you can, get feedback from a teacher, a language partner, maybe an online tutor. Ask them to listen to your recordings or read your summary.
External perspective is valuable.
Incredibly valuable for spotting things you might miss yourself.
Okay, so that brings us through the whole 3-level, 3-month program. Level 1 foundation, level 2 deepening, level 3 intensive immersion.
Exactly. And as you said right at the start, it's about building that sustainable daily routine.
It really is a marathon, not a sprint, isn't it?
Yeah,
Each level, each day builds on the last.
absolutely. You're constructing something solid piece by piece. It takes time, but the result is stable knowledge, stable skills.
So the key takeaways seem to be discipline,
Disciplines, definitely. Showing up,
consistency,
non-negotiable, especially early on.
and patience.
Oh, huge amounts of patience with the process and with yourself. Language learning takes time. There will be plateaus.
Yeah, those days where you feel stuck.
Exactly. You have to trust the process, trust that your consistent effort is making a difference, even if you don't feel it every single day. And keep connecting to your why.
Good point. And being self-aware too, right? Understanding how you learn best.
So important. Notice what works for you. What kind of input do you enjoy most? What output activities feel most helpful?
And analyzing successes and mistakes.
Yeah. Celebrate the wins and see mistakes as data. What can you learn from them? How can you adjust your approach? It's a constant cycle of learning, trying, reflecting, adjusting.
It's a very personal journey, ultimately.
Totally. This program is a framework, a suggestion, but you need to adapt it to fit you.
And those tools we mentioned at the start, planners, timers, tracking apps, they remain useful beyond the 3 months.
Absolutely. They help maintain the structure and accountability long term. Keep using what works for you to keep that routine going.
Okay. Any final thoughts or words of encouragement?
Just that perseverance really does pay off, especially with language. It might feel slow sometimes, but stick with it.
Don't be afraid to start small, right? That 15 minutes in level 1 is achievable.
Exactly. Start small, build momentum, and gradually increase things as you feel ready. Every minute you dedicate is an investment.
A great way to put it. An investment in yourself.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us on this deep dive into building that daily English routine.
Yes, thank you for your time. We really hope this structure and these ideas are helpful for you and maybe give you some motivation to get started or refine your own practice.
We really appreciate you tuning in. And hey, if you found this useful, we'd love it if you'd subscribe to your English podcast. That way you won't miss future episodes.
And we genuinely want to hear from you. How do you manage your routine? What challenges do you face? Share your successes or questions in the comments. Let's learn from each other.
Yeah, definitely. What parts of this podcast or podcasts in general do you find most helpful for your English learning? We're always looking to make things better for you.
And are there specific English topics, maybe grammar points, vocabulary areas, or learning skills you'd like us to tackle in a future deep dive? Let us know. Your feedback really helps shape the show.
Thank you once again for listening to this deep dive. We wish you all the best as you build or strengthen your own English learning routine.
Good luck to you, and may your language routine lead you to perfection, or at least great progress.
Great progress sounds good to me. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.